Hello, hello, hello. We are back for Empire finally with the World Series and everything that's been going on. Empire has not come on in the past few weeks, but we are back, y'all. If this is your first time watching, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, turn it on. I'm putting out content daily. And if you're somebody who coming back, welcome back. How you doing? Okay, so let's get to it. Empire season 6 episode. I don't remember, y'all. It'll be in the description. So it starts out with 8 months in the future or present, whatever, y'all, because y'all know they're going forward and backward the whole season. And it's still talking about how Cookie, she's in the car and then she gets blown up. Because at first, when I first saw it, I was like, no, that's not her in the car. I mean, that's not her car. Maybe that wasn't her car. Maybe it was another car. But it looks like her car gets blown up. I mean, y'all, I don't know. So from there, we see Cookie is on TV, the episode where she had made one of her co-hosts cry, and it pans off to the nursing home to Lucius's crazy ass mama, and she's sitting there talking about I know you made my Dwight put me in a home. I knew it was you or whatever. And then this little nurse come up or whatnot, I guess, to help her take her tray or something, and she stabbed this woman in the damn hand. Who, Jesus, you couldn't pay me enough to work around that woman. Or I just couldn't. And oh my goodness, that was just crazy. And I probably would have had a reflex and attacked that old lady. Like, who is you stabbing? Like, oh my God. But whatever. Whew. So from there, Lucius is at Cookie's door and just talking about, so have you made your, well, because she moved out from last episode. She moved out because she's always feeling unappreciated by Lucius, and she just had enough. So she went out, got her own apartment again or whatnot. And he was like, okay, I get it. You've been here for 2 weeks, the movers came, the joke is over, blah blah blah. And he's just like sitting there. He ain't even being sincere. He just sitting there hollering and talking about you've been gone for 2 weeks, you didn't bring your ass home or whatever. And I'm like, that ain't how you have somebody to come home. You could have brought some flowers and tried to butter her up or something, but he just hollering at her and he always hollering. I'm like, calm down. Oh my goodness, gonna have a stroke or something. But anyway, and she was like, no, I'm not coming back. I am going to be taking care of myself, live my best life. And no, I'm just not coming back. You already made things clear about how you felt, and the things you said you can't take back, blah, blah, blah. So she was just over and done with it. And she just walks off of him. I'm like, girl, you don't want to live there. But she just left him in there talking about help yourself to some champagne. And well, she went off on this whole tangent. Talking about, she started hollering too. They both, and that is, they always hollering at each other. That's just not healthy, y'all. But anyway, it's just crazy. But anyway, and then she leaves him talking about have some champagne, and I got to tell them to stop letting riffraff in the building. So from there, we are at Bossy Media with Becky and Giselle. And Tiana, or whatnot. So they're talking, Giselle has found another audience because Tiana has been canceled by the majority of her fans that love her because of her pro-life speech. And then when she had her retraction, she was like, nah, this ain't a retraction, I said what I said. And then she caused Empire to lose a whole bunch of money, and then that's why her ass is at Boston Media now. So from there, Giselle has said that she has found a new target audience for Tiana, which is young Christian Black women. Praise Jesus. But anyway, Becky was like, what? I don't know. Like, how is that even gonna go with Tiana's image? She be half naked and all this and all that. So how is, she gonna be sitting here performing? And they want her to perform at what is called the Hope Festival or whatnot, which they say is supposedly bigger than Coachella or around the same size. So I was like, okay, but hey, them church followings be huge. So yeah. And the girl who I guess is ahead of it, or who's coming to scout out Tiana or whatever for the festival, she was like, um she is chosen by the Lord and all this and all that. And I'm like, okay, girl, they just landed on thick with this church routine. But I'm like, okay. So from there, Treasure, it jumps to Empire. And then we're at Treasure's listening party. Treasure's sitting there with the boo-boo face because she is not liking her album. And Lucius is like, this, stop sitting there looking like this is a funeral. But it turns out Treasure is not happy with her sound with the album and everything. And Andre can see that. And Andre standing there talking to Portia. He was like, yeah, everybody's saying, she just, it don't sound like her. Well, not everybody's saying that, but he know it don't sound like her. And that's what Portia's saying. Like, yeah, that's why she upset. It don't sound like her. And it was like, yeah, she Tiana 2.0. Nobody wants to hear that. Just like how Tiana did not want to be compared, saying that, like, she was being compared to Beyonce and Rihanna, even though I still think that she's just like bootleg Rihanna with it. And but okay, girl, you saying that you got away from that that whole thing. But every time I hear Tiana songs or something, it sounds like Rihanna-ish. But I know this is a made up show. But anyway, I digress. So from there, Lucius gets a phone call with because Andre is about to go walk up to him and talk to him about, Treasure and all that. But Lucius gets a phone call and he was like, oh, you supposed to handle this. Why are y'all calling me? So it was the doctor is calling about Lucius' mama sitting there stabbing that woman. So from there, it jumps to Cookie busting into her therapist's office, talking about some girl, I left Lucius, so I don't even got to come here no more, and everything, right? And then she was like, no, Cookie, I told you that you and Lucius had a very codependent, unhealthy relationship, but that is not all that's going on with you. That's not everything, And then she's like, why don't you have a seat? And then what's she saying? She was like, why after all this time, all these years and all the stuff that I've done for him, have I always allowed myself to take him back and go back to him? And then she was like, I guess I'm not done with therapy, huh? She was like, I guess not. That's up to you. So then, yeah, and then she said something about like, now that she's actually let him go. But I'm like, did you really? Girl, you can just go back onto the house. That I don't feel like you really let him go. She's talking about, so she just feels anxious and all that. And then she's like, that's that codependent, like separation anxiety. But now the work comes with you working on yourself. Then it jumps to Cookie. And we see like some police officers that are already in Cookie's apartment. And I'm like, who is that? But then I could tell. And I'm like, there wasn't nothing talking about some you under arrest for being a naughty girl or something. So it's some scrippers, y'all. And it's none but her sisters, Carol and Candace, set up for her. And then they all trying to pop it and stuff. And she's like, don't be getting no oil. This is expensive. Don't get no oil. And she's like, hey. And it was like, girl, you need something to get away. And we packed your bags and we are going to Miami, bitch. So they on their way to Miami. So from there, Lucius is at the nursing home talking to the doctor. And the doctor was like, look, we're trying to recalibrate her medicine. Sometimes she has lucid days and then other times she's just real far gone. And if you expect our staff to be risking, well, first he's like, oh, this check should more than cover, because he's like, that nurse or whatnot, her hand, she got to get reconstructive surgery, blah blah blah. He's like, well, this should more than cover this. And he was like, no, boo-boo, hold on before you try to hand me that check. If you want our staff to risk their lives dealing with your mama, you're gonna have to add some more zeros to that check, boo. Okay. So he was like, all right, here you go. This should cover it, and that's it. That's all. All right. So I guess he handled that with that. So from there, he just goes to check on his mama, and she was like, "Hi, Dwight." And I'm like, she crazy. Don't trust her. Don't trust her. She crazy. And then she's like, oh, I'm sorry. You like to be called Lucius, right? And I'm like, mm-hmm. What you gonna say, mama? What you gonna do? Hold on, y'all. I'm thirsty. Whew. Ooh, that was cold. Anyway, from there, um, it just shows Candace, Carol, and Cookie in my arriving in Miami, and there's like, oh, we about to, tear it up, y'all. Let's go and have some retail therapy, blah blah blah. Then it jumps to back to Lucius and his mama, and then she, talking about, so how you doing? And she was all talking about some what's why you act talking like, because he was like, hey, hey mom, whatever. She's like, what's wrong with you? You got that same look in your eye that you had with me when you were a little boy, of the man who lost a woman or some stuff. It's like, the Cookie leave you? I knew she would, because you always thought that you were never capable of love, and that's my fault, because I always tried to teach you that you were evil when I was the one that was evil, and I didn't want you to see that in me or whatnot. And I'm like, don't trust her. Don't trust her. I don't know where she going with this, but don't trust her. She evil. She evil and old. But yeah, so from there, Lucius getting all teary-eyed because Cookie done left him, so he just really wanted some comfort, a hug or something. And from there, after she said all that stuff, she goes on and she was like, after saying she was evil, he was like, well, why didn't you were my mama. I was born to trust you. Like, why did you do that? And then she was like, well, why did you believe me? And then the switch hit off in her. And then she was like, you just turned into this horrible this and blah, blah, blah. And that's why you were never capable of love. And she was just saying the most. And she just sounded real, that y'all them ticks. It was just, I was like, you better watch yourself. Make sure she ain't got no nothing on her to stab you, Lucius. Fall back, because he was sitting there, had his hand on her hand. And then, she said all that stuff, horrible stuff to her, talking about some, you believe in me and not doing better for yourself and everything. That just proves that you were weak. I'm like, bitch, he was a child. What do you mean? They talking about some, that's why you were never capable of loving anybody in your life and all this. I'm like, just don't even pay that shit no mind. I know it's your mama, but she got problems. She got problems. Just mental illness is a motherfucker. Now I firsthand know about that. It's just let it go. And I thought he was gonna, be upset and stuff, but all he does is put his hand on her hand. He stands up with her, and Dwight comes out. You can tell, and he gives her a hug. And he was like, all right, mama. And he walked away. And she was just kind of shook, because if you just meet that super crazy, because she was doing that for a reaction and she didn't get it. So she was a little shook. Like, oh, what the hell? Like, she didn't get what she was expecting. Good, mama, good, because that wasn't necessary. So from there, Cookie in Miami, they shopping, and she started mentioning Lucius, and they was like, look, you can't be mentioning no Lucius. This is a whole getaway to get away from that. Forget about Damon Cross, all that. Let's just do some retail therapy, and the only L's you should be saying is Louboutin, La Perla, and all that. She's like, okay, y'all, okay. Then it jumps to Andre at the house, and Terry, and he bumping music or whatnot, and it's Treasure's CD song or whatever. And Terry is like, what is going on? You've been playing this song for 3 hours? I'm like, 3 hours? I would have been said something. What the fuck is you doing? The baby trying to sleep. Like, turn that shit off. You better put some headphones on or something. Like, I ain't about to listen to this. So, like, you lost your mind. He crazy. So I'm like, hold on. Is you okay? It's the same song for 3 hours. And then he was like, he's just trying to figure out what's missing from the music, and he's just trying to figure it all out and which way he can go about it and whatnot. And then she was like, you've always had a good eye for music. I'm like, Terry, how you know? I'm like, he always worked on the business side of Empire. He never worked on the music side, but apparently, something I don't or missed. And then she was like, but if I hear seeing this song again, we gonna have some problems. She's like, I never been a Tiana fan like that Anyway, he was like, that's not Tiana, that's Treasure. And she was like, that's one of your problems right there. Don't nobody want to sit there and listen to somebody who sound exactly like, well, she didn't say this, but I'm saying this, sound exactly like somebody else. You just sound like a big old copycat. Like, you just not original. So from there, we're back at Bossy Media with the bougie conservative Catholic folk women. They all fancy and stuff. They're younger, look like some young Republican women, Black Republic. I don't know, y'all. They rubbed me the wrong way. And so did that bogus blonde weave that she had on. Well, the one of them did. Like, girl, no. And there she was just saying that they were going over the specs for the show, for saying like, well, we took the liberty of making these changes to the show, to fit our audience and everything. So we would, want you to do a little bit wardrobe change, not show so much skin. And we just made a few a little alterations to your lyrics. And she's like, oh, okay, I understand, for that audience. All right. And then she was like, and then the choreography, pretty much, you can't be doing all that twerking and all that. But girl, because it might disrupt some of our older audience members or whatnot. And then she was like, but girl, if you can show me how to do that little twerk thing, though, private, just help sister out or whatnot. And she was like, girl, it's all in the back. And it's like, twerking for Jesus. That made me think about Tamar old crazy self. So I was twerking for Jesus. But anyway, y'all, that's what happened. So from there, Andre calls this emergency staff meeting. So everybody's sitting there. And then I didn't realize that he had Lucius come too, but he probably would have ended up finding out about it anyway. But he's sitting there too. And he's saying that he's stopping all things on Treasure's album because he wants to completely re-go over it. Him and he got some other producers, and they are just going to redo everything and halt everything. And he will be back with them as far as the new dates of when the album is coming out, because it's not coming out like the way it is. Lucius got his panties up in a bunch, and he like, everybody clear the room. I need to talk to my son. And he like, excuse me, y'all. He's like, what are you doing? And then he was telling him that the sound ain't right and whatnot. And then he was like, why do you have this? Like, I know what works and this is going to work. And he's like, Treasure doesn't like it. And she doesn't feel like, he's like, Treasure wouldn't know a hit if it hit upside Joe's head, a hit upside her head. And he was like, wait a minute. Did she offer you some ass? I was like, really? Just because she offers you some ass, Lucius, don't mean she's just throwing that ass everywhere. I mean, she might, but I don't think the girl doing that no more. And like, he like, nah, he was like, Pop, I ain't you. He's like, exactly, you not me. And that's why you don't need to be trying to make these type of decisions without consulting me, because this is my company and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, Pop, I notice your company. You stomp up and down here every day talking about some you Lucius line and all this. Just because your face is on posted up out there don't mean that everything that you say is the right decision. He like, all right, then I'm gonna let you go ahead and finish. Go ahead and revamp her stuff, and we'll see what happened and how you do it. And he like, all right, then shake on it. Then Tiana's getting ready for her little Hope Festival, and the little bougie trio of Christian women walk up, and they're like, oh, hey, we don't want to bother you while you're getting ready or whatnot. And we just wanted to show you the little program for the show. Y'all, it's got Tiana sitting there like, and it's talking about some, I think, redemption, or it's redemption, something, or repentance or something, or renouncing. And she's like, what exactly am I renouncing? And then they start busting out, well, the fact that you had a baby out of wedlock, and your same sex relationships and all this and all that, all your past, we just want to show and then the whole sex out of wedlock and blah blah blah, and taking care, like, we just want to you going pro-life can just be the beginning. She's like, don't focus on all that. Like, we just try to push and make sure that the women in our congregation or whatnot are avoiding a wayward path. And Tiana was like, oh, she's like, well, let's hold off on all that other stuff. But okay. So you can see that Tiana is uneasy about all of this. And I'm like, girl, duh. What did you think was going to happen? Like, really? So, okay. That photo had me, y'all. It was just ridiculous. I'm like, really? That was just, and it just looked really poorly photoshopped the way they had Tiana sitting there. Oh, all heavenly. Bye. So from there, Treasure, Andre, and Portia are in the studio redoing her a little song, and they're like, ooh, yeah, this is great. And I'm like, okay, it sounds all right, y'all. I was like, it ain't that great, but okay, whatever. Then it jumps to Lucius. He's just looking out his window, flashing back on his daddy getting shot up in the head. Then to, his mama Kelly Rowland trying to drown him in the bathtub and stuff, when she was back in the day when they was crazy. And then it jumps to all the time his moments with Cookie, when Cookie left him, when his arguments with Cookie, all this stuff, and he just got a lot on his mind, y'all. And then he could hear the doorbell ring, and it's Becky. Becky shows up and she's asking him for advice. And I'm like, girl, really, him? And he was like, you got a lot of fucking nerve coming to my house for some advice when you stole Tiana and all that after that whole shit. Like, really, you want my advice? And she's saying, like, I know, I'm sorry or whatever, but it just seems like since I left Empire, I just been making all the wrong moves and just so many mistakes. And when I was at Empire, I was on fire. I was doing it, and I just don't understand. He's like, well, when you're a CEO of the company, you can go make mistakes. He's like, that's how I made Empire. I made a bunch of mistakes, but I kept grinding. I kept doing it until I got and made it to what it is today. And she's like, that's it. That's all the advice you got. Fake it till you make it. He was like, you ain't hearing me. He was like, you need to dig deep down and get as low to your lowest of low, because only from below can you see up high. No, can you see like the light? He's like, you need to embrace your darkness, and through that you can only see every angle and every which way that you can get to the top. But what else? He was just giving her that advice about that, and she was like, oh, he was like, you've never really. And I'm like, what in the Darth Vader come to the dark side, Becky, are you talking about? But that's pretty much what he told her. And excuse me, y'all. My throat cute. Whew, getting parched. Okay, so back in Miami, they are at the club. Carol, Cookie, and Candace are at the club, just dancing, and then some little then you hear like Bad Bunny, Drake and stuff bumping in the back. Well, not in the back, but in the club. And some Latin lovers come up talking about, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Can we get you? Do you guys want to party? And I'm like, hold on, y'all. I don't know. Cause party immediately, because I know what party mean, but not everybody, they older women, so not everybody know what party mean. You just gotta be asking questions. So they was like, yeah, we gonna party. He's like, all right, we'll take care of y'all drinks, but my friend will take care of y'all drinks, but I'm gonna get y'all out to the dance floor. So they out there dancing, the reggaetons popping and stuff. I'm like, okay. So then it jumps to Tiana's at Bossy Media, and she's talking to Giselle and Becky, saying how she's just not comfortable with this whole Christian thing. And they were like, hold on, they didn't back all this money with us, and they want to book you for 40 shows. And she was like, I don't know about no 40 shows. I can do possibly this. She like, well, just do this one. And Big Becky was like, well, just do this one, and then 39 after that. And she was like, I don't know, y'all. I'm just not feeling right about this. This just ain't what I stand for and everything. And then they were like, okay, but you got to do this show. You can't be backing out right now, girl. This is your last chance at trying to get yourself back on there and out there. Like, you can't just be backing out of shows constantly or whatnot, like sabotaging stuff. So from there, it jumped back to Miami with Cookie and them. And Cookie all dancing on a pole and stuff, and Vivica swirling around in the chair Oh girl, she twirling around dancing with the other dude. And I'm like, what is wrong with them? Then it shows like the room spinning and stuff. And they've clearly, been drugged, which I knew what was going to happen. I could tell that one from right there. And then Cookie's like, hold on, did you drug us? They was like, yeah, you said you wanted to party. That means, like Molly. I mean, that could be Molly. That could be cocaine. That could mean a lot of things. But she's like, yeah, we're all on it. We put it in your drinks. And then I was like, that's why, for one, don't be letting no strangers get y'all no damn drinks and then just drinking it. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all is grown. Y'all should know better. But anyway, so from there, they were like, just have a good time. And I'm like, wait, isn't Carol an ex-crackhead? Is it Carol or Ken? I always mix up their names, but not Vivica, the other one. Ain't she an ex-crackhead? Like, she couldn't take a little Molly and been cool? I mean, ain't that stronger? I don't know the levels of drugs, y'all. But I was just like, this, she used to smoke rocks. She should have been fine. But anyway, from there, Cookie, she's like, okay, fine, whatever, y'all, let's party. But then as she's sitting there trying to dance with the dude, all of a sudden she starts just seeing Lucius. And Lucius like, I'm sorry, baby. I was, not appreciating you and blah, blah, blah. And, she's just hallucinating, y'all. And then she's like, no, Lucius, because every time I get vulnerable and I let you back in, you always do this to me and blah, blah, blah. I hate you, Jody. I just always think she gonna say that because I just baby boy all day. But, then she get all mad and then she just like starts stealing off whoever the hallucination, and it turns out it's old boy, and then it's just a whole fight just break out in the club, y'all. I'm like, oh hell no, what the hell? So from there, they asses in jail now and whatnot, and Vivica's sitting there talking about she needs to use the bathroom and she needs to call Johnny Cochran or some shit. I'm like, and y'all, why they put her in that blue dress? Like her back, and then why they shoot her from that angle with that blue dress? So her back was looking real big. Like they could have put her in something more flattering. And I mean, like, and then her hair, like she owns her own hairline. Why was that ponytail and them baby hairs looking like that? I'm like, you got your own weave line, girl. What is going on? But that had nothing to do with the story. It was just an observation. Anyway, but yeah, so Cookie was like, girl, get your ass and sit down. And then they start talking, reminiscing about when their daddy was still alive and how they used to do these little numbers for their daddy and their grandmama and how their grandma used to make them do the numbers over and over. And they started just singing this little song and all that. And then from there, they were like, Cookie, you know what? Even before Lucius, music was all like Lucius may have been your love or something, but music was always your true love or whatever. And she was like, yeah, she's like, you right. She was like, I don't know, with Empire and Lucius and all that, it just all got intertwined and I lost it. And then she was like, they were like, it's about time that you get back to that love and get back to the music and put a ring on that, music, and just get back to that, because that's always what made you happy all the time, and just start having a better, happier, healthier relationship with music again without Lucius. And then she was like, y'all right, okay, y'all. They had a little sister love hug and stuff, and then it goes off from them. So from there, we see Andre holding the whole meeting, talking about some, okay, y'all, here go Treasure's new remix song. And I just want to say that this is a new Empire where we care about what the artist's views are and thoughts and all that, and we use them a part of the project. We don't just tell them what they need to be doing and all that. And then it busts out on Treasure, and then they press play, and it's clearly, and then she still start mouth singing. I'm like, girl, we can clearly hear that that's just off the CD. Like, why is you sitting here trying to act like you actually singing that? Because you're not. And then about a good 15 seconds of the song get in, Lucius talking about some, cut it off. He was like, I've heard enough. He was like, oh, Andre, your little experiment, I'm sorry, but we just gonna go ahead with what I originally remixed for Treasure, and we gonna go forward with the dates that I put out. This is my company, blah, 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 and all that. And I'm like, why you have him go through all that if you was just going to be an asshole and just treat him in front of all these people? That is a grown man. I don't care if it's your son. that was really unnecessary. And this is why he tried to kill you before and you lost the leg, Lucius. It's just rude, okay? Don't be doing that. You could have just said no the first time, and then after he was like, everybody leave the out of the room again. And he told Andre, like, well, if you don't like the way things are, I suggest you find somewhere else to work. I always wondered that. I was like, why don't you just go find where else to work and just prove him wrong somewhere else? Like, and then do you really love music like that? I just thought you liked business. I'm confused, Andre. I don't know. Anyway, so from there, so Andre just sitting there looking angry and like, what the fuck? So it goes back to Tiana looking like she the head or about to sing a solo in the church choir at the Hope Festival or whatnot. And she starts singing and everything. And I just knew that she was about to pull something with that damn robe on. And she get into the song and then she go, bow. And she busts out with her little corset thing on and her little booty out and her high heel boots and start, doing her little twerking and stuff. And then they're like, clutch my pearls. No, not in the house of the Lord. And they was just sitting there and they was like, oh my goodness. And they was like, and then Giselle was talking to Becky, like, did you put her up to this? She was like, I didn't know she was about to do nothing. But I do like the way she hooked that little outfit up with the glitter and stuff, though. And then everybody, a bunch of the younger girls pull out their phones and, they're live, putting it on live and everything. And they just jamming like, hey, and Tiana little twerking her little booties matter and stuff. And then they were like, Becky's looking at her phone and they were like, oh my God, Tiana is trending. But in a good way, they're saying that she renounced the church and that she's back to being the old Tiana and everything. So she's back, y'all. Yeah, so she can go back to doing whatever she was doing, I guess. I mean, she better keep her mouth shut about her views on abortion. That's about, I said that. And just keep it pushing. Like, girl, just shut up and make your music, okay? You have these problems. But anyway, then it goes to Andre with little baby Skywalker. I mean, little baby Walker Lucius. I mean, Walker something. Walker Lion. Yeah. Sorry, y'all. And he's talking about some, don't worry, little Walker. I would never do to you what my daddy did to me today or ever. Oh, he always does to us. He always be pushing us down. And we got to break the cycle. I'll listen to you and I will trust you and all this because he just real hurt in his feelings, y'all. So, yeah, he was just talking his baby because he just needed to get some steam off or whatnot. And then it goes to the last scene is somebody at Lucius' door again. And it is little sugar mama, his little sugar mama / sugar baby. Because she was fronting the cash for him and his dreadlock maintenance. Damon Cross' daughter. And then she come up and he was like, oh, what are you doing here? Or hey, or something. I forgot what she said. And then she slapped him across the face and she was like, that's all you have to say to me after what you did. And it just goes off, y'all. That was it. Like, so we'll see what her appearance or her presence, in Empire Land is gonna cause. And I know she gonna probably have a run in with Cookie, and Cookie gonna be like, I don't even care. I ain't even seeing it. I don't care. But she probably gonna be like running to the therapist, like, he was some little young bitch and his Damon's the man that I was talking to's daughter and all that. But yeah, y'all, we'll see what happened next season. If I missed something, I really don't think I did. I think I did a thorough review of this. Leave it in the comments below. I will see y'all later. Hope y'all having a good evening. And y'all, that's it. I done kept you on here for 30-some minutes. That's it. That's all. Love you. Bye. Peace.